Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is James. Today we're going to talk about an Electroneum miner for under $519. So there are a few components that are key to making this miner work. Now, this is completely from the ground up, meaning that this is including stuff like a motherboard, processor, graphics card, power supply, all that kind of stuff. If you happen to have any of these components, that's definitely a plus because you're going to save some money, meaning that your return on investment time, or the amount of time it takes for you to make up all the money that you spent on the rig, is going to be less because there's less money invested into the rig. So the first thing that I would really hop on actually right now, I don't know why it's so cheap. It's actually from Newegg. There's a RX 570. If we click on the link here in my kit, which is linked down below, it'll take us to this Newegg website. And as we can see, this 570 is $300. So usually these are going on eBay and Amazon for $500 to $600 because these are extremely powerful cards and people are reselling them for high prices because miners are scooping them up. So I would really recommend getting this before really anything else. This is a great deal. You're not going to really find this anywhere else. This is by far the most reasonable price for this card out there. Now, if we come back to the kit here again, we have the Msi Motherboard, which one thing I do want to note about this on Amazon is that there is a rebate. So while it is $64, you can get a $10 rebate. That brings it down to $54, and there's a few left in stock. So definitely, again, get on these or get it from these other sellers over here. The Intel Pentium processor is pretty good on electricity, meaning that the cost that you're paying for actually running the rig is going to be a little bit lower than if you had something like an i7 or an i5. So that's going to allow you to, again, not have to pay a lot of money to run the rig because you do have to pay for the electricity that is used by your components. If each component's a little bit more efficient, you are saving that monthly cost in your bill, meaning that more money is going into your pocket. Coming down a little bit further, we have a 320 gigabyte hard drive. If you happen to have an old hard drive from a laptop or an old desktop, definitely use that. It's a little bit smarter to use components that you already have. Again, you are saving money, so I'd recommend doing that. But if you need a hard drive, this is probably the best option because it's got enough space to install stuff like Windows and the mining programs. This is just a very safe bet. It's like under $20, so it's reasonable. I would definitely go for that. Next to that, we have 8 gigabytes of RAM, so that's going to be plenty to run Windows and the mining programs. 4 gigabytes would be a little bit too lean, I think. I don't think Windows would really work well with that, and 16 gigabytes would be a little bit overkill. 8 gigabytes is a good sweet spot, and I think that's like, I don't know, a $30 stick, so it's very reasonable considering the prices of RAM these days. To the right of that, we have the EVGA 400 watt power supply, which is going to have not only the connectors required, but also the wattage required to run all of these components. It's relatively efficient. Since it's new, it does come with a warranty. So if anything happens, you can get that warranty replacement, which is definitely a plus. That's why all these parts are listed as new, because warranties are definitely important. But if you don't want that, definitely look on stuff like eBay or Craigslist to see if you can find any better deals. But this power supply is relatively inexpensive, gives you the juice required to run the system, and is relatively efficient. And then the last thing is just a SATA cable because you need to connect that hard drive to the motherboard. So now the important part. How much is this rig going to be putting out in terms of profitability each week? So we can use a tool here. This is originally designed for Monero, but because they use the same algorithm and same basic principle for mining, this website gives you the exact same information regardless of Monero or Electroneum. So we can put in our RX 570 right here. So we can see a lot of people are getting 700, 800, continuing on 700 again. Some people, it's a very wide range of hash rates, but I would probably estimate this card, if you overclock it correctly, you're probably going to get about 850 hashes per second. So if we come over to the easyhash.io website, click on Pools and Stats, and then Pools and Profitability, scroll down a little bit, there's a mining profitability calculator. If we put in our 850 hashes per second from our RX 570, we can see that we're mining about 35 Electroneum per day, which is equivalent to about $36 per week. So that, if we come over to our calculator, we have $36 per week times 4 weeks, so we're looking at $144 a month. And if we have the total price of $519 and we divide that by 144, our break-even time is 3.6 months, so about 3 months and 3 weeks, a little under 4 months to make back the money that you put into the system. And then from that point on, you're making pure profit. Now, I know that this isn't taking into account stuff like the electricity costs. Realistically, I would say you can probably subtract maybe $1 or $2 a week from the total profit because of the power that this system is going to be using. So accounting for that, I would say 4 months is a pretty decent expectation of return on investment break-even time. Now, I know that's going to change as the difficulty does change over time, meaning that your rig will have varying amounts of profitability depending on how many people are mining at the same time. But for $519 with all those rebates and things, I think that this is definitely probably the best rig you're going to find out there for this price. And there are some upgrade options with this. As you saw with the MSI motherboard, there are 2 extra PCIe slots that you can have a riser card inserted into. So that way you can actually run up to 3 graphics cards on the same system. So if you wanted to put some of your profit back into improving your rig, say you made $100 and some odd, you can get an RX 560 and have that running as well. That has about 350 hashes per second at about $119. Pretty inexpensive card, and for that price, that's a pretty decent return. And you can kind of expand that rig to be a powerful rig that might net you up to $40 or $50 per week, depending on how you're overclocking and things like that. So if you guys are interested in other videos like this, or if you want to see how to set up the software side of things, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'll make a video detailing how to set up a wallet, how to sell the currency for actual money, and how to set up all those software miner options for mining Electroneum and getting set up with a pool and things like that. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments below. I'll be sure to make those videos. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.